Evidence of giants in the American Southwest. Welcome to SkyWatch TV. I'm Derek Gilbert. A special report for Thursday, February 9th, as we have a guest in studio who is just back. A combined team from SkyWatch TV and Gen6 Productions spent some time in the Four Corners region looking for evidence of the biblical giants. Timothy Alberino joins us. Tim, welcome back to SkyWatch TV. It's good to see you again.
Happy to be with you, thanks.
The forthcoming production from Gen6 Productions, True Legends, the third episode in the True Legends series called There Were Giants. Why did you guys pick the Four Corners area? What was there that drew you to that spot to look for evidence of giants?
Well, this third episode in our series is an exciting project for us because it's a collaborative project between Gen6 Productions and SkyWatch TV, and we met the SkyWatch crew down in the Four Corners region with Tom Horn, and we were there to follow up on some of Tom's investigative work concerning the Anasazi, concerning giants and the native tribes in the desert Southwest, and much of the stuff that Tom's been talking about and writing about, because it's going to be featured in our upcoming film, There Were Giants. Tom's in the film, and it's going to be amazing.
Jake Rahutsky was in the film, but that was accidental. So, but the research that Tom did for On the Path of the Immortals and Exo Vaticana with the work down in Arizona and that region, of course, he's got his own experiences with some unexplained phenomena that are from that region. But again, what was it about what do the native tribes in that area know that might relate to your search for evidence of giants?
Well, as all over the world, the indigenous peoples have legends of giants, have legends that are very similar to the narrative found in the 6th chapter of Genesis, where the gods descend, they mingle with the daughters of men, and they produce hybrid giants. And this is certainly a theme in some of the Anasazi legends and some of the legends of the different tribes down there in the desert Southwest and all over the United States. And we were tracking with a particular narrative that Tom's been working on concerning the Anasazi, that they somehow opened a gateway, opened a portal, and giants came up and ultimately consumed them, devoured them.
You talked to the Pueblo Indians, and you mentioned in a longer interview that people will see on SkyWatch TV that the Indian tribe, or the people who disappeared, referred to as the Anasazi. The Pueblo Indians have a different name for them and take a different view of the Anasazi. Explain that. What is the difference between the way the Pueblo view the Anasazi and the way the other tribes in that area viewed them?
Well, the Pueblo Indians of contemporary times trace their lineage back to the Anasazi, but they don't call them the Anasazi. That's an offensive term to them. They refer to them as the ancestral Pueblo people. And so they believe that they are the modern-day version of the Anasazi, the Pueblo Indians do. And there are many different tribes within the Pueblo family, within the Pueblo people. And they keep some of the traditions of the Anasazi, although to a great degree, much of the culture of the Anasazi has disappeared from the earth. And the traditional narrative concerning the Anasazi, what the archaeologists will tell you, most of them, is that the Anasazi migrated out of the desert Southwest because of drought.
Climate change. Yeah.
Climate change, yeah. So, but that narrative is completely contradicted by the evidence. And the evidence is that the Anasazi were in an extremely defensive mode, a defensive position. They were building their, which is unique among the native peoples, they were building their cliff dwellings and towers and defensive fortifications. They were obviously fearing for their lives. And the question is, who was antagonizing them? Who was the enemy that they were defending themselves against? And then suddenly they disappear. Off the pages of history, they're gone. Was it because they migrated, or did something else much more sinister happen? And we believe that again, tracking the work of Tom Horn in this film, partly this is part of what's featured in our film, is what's happening in the desert Southwest. We believe that the story has much more to do with giants and cannibalism than it does with migration from drought.
Now, you mentioned that this is only part of the film. What else will people see in the forthcoming film, There Were Giants?
The majority of the film features the island of Sardinia.
Oh.
Sardinia is an island off the west coast of mainland Italy, below the island of Corsica. Not many people know about Sardinia, but I'll tell you what, Sardinia is ground zero when it comes to giants and evidence for giants. In our film, we cover the Smithsonian, what's called Smithsonian Gate, the Smithsonian cover-up that was occurring in the United States during the 19th century and the early 20th century, where the bones of giants were being routinely discovered by farmers and people digging foundations for their homes and so forth. And then the representatives, agents of the Smithsonian Institute would show up and confiscate the bones and cover over and cover up the evidence of giants. Well, Sardinia, that kind of activity is still happening to this day in Sardinia. So there is a direct correlation between Sardinia of modern times and the United States of the late 19th, early 20th century. So it's a fascinating study, and we have some amazing content in this film, including individuals who were hired by the municipality, different municipalities in Sardinia, to dig up the bones of giants. And they extracted giants anywhere from 9 to 10.5 feet tall, up to 11, 12, and 13 feet tall. And mind you, they were doing this for the municipality, for the government.
What does the government do with those bones?
The bones, in one of the cases that we feature in our film, is called the excavation of Santa Anastasia. And Santa Anastasia is a church, and it's a Catholic church, and literally this church was built on top of, which of course we featured in our last film, that this is the MO of the Catholic Church, is to build their cathedrals and their churches and their monasteries right over important archaeological sites, especially as it pertains to the pre-flood world or to giants. And this church in Santa Anastasia, the Church of Santa Anastasia, it was literally built over what's called a nuraghe, which is a nuraghe is a stone tower, a megalithic stone tower, and there were over 30,000 of them on the island of Sardinia. And in many cases, there are Catholic churches built right over the ruins, and associated with the towers, the nuraghe, the stone megalithic towers, are tombs of giants. That's what they're called, the tombs of the giants. And so in these areas, there would be excavations, and they would secret away the bones of giants. And specifically in the case of Santa Anastasia, the bones came out of the ground, and where do you think they went? Into the church.
Okay.
Out of the ground, into the church, and then gone the next day. Wiped off of the pages of history, actually never making it to the pages of history.
Somewhere in a Vatican archive.
We're talking thousands of mummies and skeletal remains of giants. Thousands, not just a few. I mean, this was commonplace in Sardinia and is still happening today.
What did you hear from the people you talked to in Sardinia about the bones and why they were being tasked with bringing these up and sending them off somewhere?
Well, it's kind of common knowledge for the older folk in Sardinia that there were giants. That's why our film was called There Were Giants. It's just a matter of fact. It was the legends of Sardinia. It was these were things that were told to them by their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents, and it's a very long tradition going all the way back to the Nuragic civilization in Sardinia. And so it wasn't that surprising for them to discover the bodies of giants and the mummified bodies of giants and the remains of giants. I mean, they would turn them up in their fields all the time. And of course, the critics say mastodons, dinosaurs. The problem with that, besides the fact that these people were finding entire skeletons with the skull attached, is that they were finding rings on the fingers, necklaces. They were finding gold. They were finding these skeletons still dressed in black garments. And the last time I checked, dinosaurs don't wear rings.
And everybody knows mastodons hate jewelry.
Mastodons didn't wear clothes either. So it absolutely shatters the conventional thought as it pertains to the archaeological phenomenon of the Nuragic civilization in Sardinia. And if you are on the fence as to whether giants existed in the earth, you will not be after watching this next installment of the True Legends documentary film series, There Were Giants, Episode 3.
So how close are you to getting your hands on physical evidence?
We are very close. I'm pretty certain that I could have put my hands on a giant skeleton in Sardinia, but I would probably either be dead or in jail right now. We were very close. And the reason why we didn't pursue that kind of physical evidence is precisely because of the aggression, of the aggressive nature of the cover-up. I mean, it's deadly. There's a lot at stake. When you talk about giants, you're not just talking about, large bones and covered up history. You're talking about massive amounts of treasure. Gold and precious and precious stones and all kinds of treasure associated with the giants. You're not just talking about bones. So there are many levels to the cover-up. On the most superficial, basic level, there's lots of treasure. And if nobody's supposed to know about the giants, therefore you can cover up the giants and you can take the treasure associated with them to wherever it goes. I happen to believe a lot of it goes to the Vatican. It's really quite amazing. Sardinia is ground zero for giants.
It's fascinating stuff. When will the film There Were Giants be available? The
film is slated for release in the spring, the upcoming spring, so just in a couple of months. And the film is going together with the book. That for the first time in history, Steve Quayle and Tom Horn have written a book together, and that book corresponds directly with the film. So this is a very exciting project that Gen6 Productions is engaged in with SkyWatchTV.
Well, I'm sure we'll see you back here again just before the release of the book and the film.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure Steve will be with me.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to that, and I'm sure you will be too. Keep your eyes open for that. That will be coming later in the spring from SkyWatchTV, Gen6 Productions. Timothy Alberino, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is SkyWatchTV.
Some of the greatest prophetic mysteries of the Bible that the world has ever pondered have now been carefully explored. And the SkyWatch TV store is bringing the exploration to you in the new Mysteries of the Bible Revealed special offer. In this special offer, you'll receive the new book by New York Times best-selling author Joel Richardson, Mystery Babylon. Richardson works through the history of the Christian interpretation of Mystery Babylon, weighing the strengths and weaknesses of each view, and then making a powerful case for a solution to this prophecy that will rock scholars around the world. You'll also receive The Mystery of the Shemitah from New York Times best-selling author Jonathan Cahn. This is a book you can't afford not to read. Cahn explores a possible 3,000-year-old mystery that may explain the timing of 9/11, the lies behind world wars, the collapse of nations, empires, and may hold the key to what lies ahead for the world and for your life. Plus, we'll also include in this special offer the unexplained mysteries of heaven and earth. Join author Ron Phillips as he combines his trademark theological balance with extensive historical research to travel through time to look at the flood, the Great Pyramid, the rapture, and much more. Altogether, this incredible offer holds an unprecedented retail value of over $50. Yours now for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. So now you can explore the greatest prophetic mysteries of the Bible. Place your order for the Mysteries of the Bible Revealed special offer at SkyWatchTVstore.com now.